Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Planet Coaster. We are building one structure today and filling in some areas along kind of the one of the main strip of shops. So we're going to be starting the episode working on some smaller stalls. These are very commonplace in Renaissance fairs, as there's a lot of street stalls and things where people would be selling, like, you know, little wooden swords for like kids, or little elements such as like flowers, baskets, handcraft kind of like silver, or, you know, you can also buy some popcorn or some pretzels or some other good kind of just random stall food, or just miscellaneous stuff that's too, I guess, less important and not really noteworthy enough to have its own building. So we're going to be building a couple stall variants, and if you guys watched my Lothloria or maybe even my Bridgehaven series from Medieval Engineers, I'm kind of going about it in the same way. We're going to have kind of a wooden frame holding up potentially a roof, potentially some overgrown sections, some light miscellaneous junk on the interior, and rinse repeat. So we already finished one stall. Here's another variant, and this one is going to be more of an exterior cart-like feature. So looks like they're selling some cheese and bread on this one. There's like a little ladder. We got some hay going in, and really these elements kind of sell the whole lived-in and cluttered kind of experience that you might find in a Renaissance fair, as they do generally live on site during these times. Obviously not always dressed up, but they could have some tents. They could be in there with RVs, potentially living in a hotel during, you know, about the month or so that these are open. All, like, say, the actors are off living in the area, not always traveling, you know, say 5 hours just to go to work. That would be a little ridiculous. So we're gonna have some little market stalls, some tents, and then also Ren fairs. They have quite the tree canopy to them. If you've ever been in one, they're very much kind of embedded into the forest themselves. So the pathways and things are kind of just there, and then there could be a tree in the pathway, or another smaller shrub or something that you just kind of have to walk around, and the whole area itself is kind of enveloped in this constant shade from the really tall kind of oaks and things in the area that are just constantly providing shade and a nice breeze. And so Renaissance fairs have a lot of greenery spaces, a lot of trees, a lot more than you would find in, say, just a normal theme park. So that's something that's going to be a little bit different than, say, anything else that we've done so far. This stall as well, it's going to be a pretty standard looking kind of organized stall here, and using the back side of that kind of balcony piece, you can quickly actually throw together a bookshelf. I mean, look at that. Just embedding it partly into the ground and letting the top piece become the shelving itself. It worked out great. Now, also, the scenery objects that we're placing here actually don't have to be part of the building anymore. We have that large multi-select tool, so we don't have to worry about things not being a part of the building and moving it around. So, say in the Roman Park, that would have been a really awesome feature for when we were building the Triumph Arch, because it's that building using the new pillar system in Alpha 2 was quite a pain to throw together and then move it and copy it around. This structure here is the main structure for this episode, and the only new real large structure that is going to be being built today. This is the Tavern. Most fairs feature a tavern-like building, and this is where most people would go and buy their mead and hang out, be merry. You know, you can even find maybe a live band playing, some ye olde music, and just everyone having a good time. Obviously, Ren fairs, people do have swords, at least in some of them. Some of them don't allow weaponry. So occasionally it's been known to happen. Possibly someone might fight with said swords. So Ren fairs are a pretty interesting space. A lot of them are kind of leaning to less allowing you to carry swords and stuff, even though they're piece tied off, which is basically zip tying so you can't take the sword out. But just with the inherent danger of having a whole bunch of people getting drunk with swords and maybe having an argument, some people have been stabbed in the past. Hey, what are you gonna do? So this structure is a little bit more fantasy-esque than, say, normal, but I wanted something, since it's kind of right across the main entryway, something taller, something a little bit more commanding of space. And so having something that has a tower, a jut coming out, an overhang section, multiple peaks on it, and some larger windows, some smaller windows, definitely some higher contrast in terms of just basic architectural elements. This is turned out to be a fairly nice building. A lot of wooden trim, a lot of, the first floor being this new stone, which I really love the color of this new stone. It's very cobbly. It looks magnificent in my opinion. You got these browns and reds and yellows in it. And the stalls out the side there, that's actually how it looks like in Renaissance fairs. The building is really for show, and then the stalls are just off to the side, and the back area is just kitchen, mainly kitchen. This one's obviously more showy than something you might find at a Ren fair itself, just because it looks like it would actually have a proper upstairs. Maybe not so much a case in real life, but as I said, I wanted something a little bit more showy and something for me to really practice kind of working on these wooden trim elements. I'm not really well versed in how these are normally used in real buildings, so some more practice with these I think will just be beneficial for me in the long run. And so you want to challenge yourself a little bit from time to time. It turned out pretty good. Just a lot of this white plaster here as well. I'm not worrying about the colors of things, as we can actually color everything at the end now. So after I lay out all the roof, lay out all the things that I might want to color, I can actually go back in and select all the same elements and then quickly color them into something else. I was thinking about maybe putting an overhang over some of the window pieces, but I felt like that might have been a little too fancy for a Renaissance Fair park, so we're just we're just making it look nice compared to the other buildings, but we're not going full-blown fantasy here. We're not going, the utmost detail. It's supposed to be very, very lightly kind of hinted at in the areas, and then also very, very campy still, very, very just bare bones, as that's something that you would see. This covered area will be a seating area with some tables and chairs. This building will actually feature 2 wings of this thatched roof kind of covered section. Obviously, I would need to build some wooden frames to hold up that large section of thatch, and so that's what we're doing here. And we're actually going to be able to copy and paste that, inlay them every grid block, and carry that all the way through. So it looks like it's very well supported, very hefty, and can definitely handle the weight, especially in the off season. They might get a lot of snow, so you want your roofing to be well made enough to withstand weather and wind and all the elements here. Using some of the new decorative pieces, kind of capping off the roof, turned out really nice, with that little dragon there a bit ago, and a shield behind it just to make the back of it just a little bit more of a different shape. Here, more wooden trim, just a whole bunch of this stuff, more window placement, trying to figure out what might fit the area. Obviously, this is a new floor, so having its own kind of window lining the section looks pretty cool. I kind of wish the windows would light up when it's nighttime, because I think that would make it look very much like a tavern, because it would be very alive during the night and would provide a lot of interesting colors. It's kind of very warm yellow emitting from the building. I think would be pretty cool to see. But other than that, just more little framing elements going up here, some more light decorations in areas that we can get away with it. Obviously trying to just make the whole building look, one, believable, and then two, very supported and just functional as well. This motif up here with the tree and the golden kind of dragon and Pegasus, I thought that was working out okay. Near the end, I ended up deleting it because it was too gaudy. It just didn't quite fit. My girlfriend kind of made fun of me because it just didn't look quite right up there, and I agreed. So I ended up kind of moving that and changing out for something a little bit smaller, a little bit more quaint. Here we're adding some extra kind of upper windows on the roof line just to create kind of more of a left-right motion with these smaller window placements, and of course a chimney on the main roof section. Some kind of golden trim going around the top there, which looks pretty nice. We got the tower being worked on again very quickly, kind of just copying and pasting elements around to save time, as that is, one of the best building mechanics in this game. Just copy and paste, move it, copy and paste. In fact, if I was smart, I would probably have prefabbed some pieces to the side and just use that more. Here, some more wooden trim, using the base of one of the little wooden columns there, as I like the thin to wide nature of it. I feel like that connected to that roof line really well and created a pretty interesting look from afar. This here is the other chimney, which will widen at the bottom here, and then even bother to create kind of a join, so it gets wide at the bottom and thinner at top as you progress up the building, which looks pretty cool. Some light trim on that side, nothing too fancy going on there. We got the back here, which I did a little bit off camera on this build section, and a bathroom access point. We got all the trim in the world. This episode, I might as well call it just wooden trim, because that's all this building was. It took a fair amount of time to get all that done. Here, trying to find a good kind of roof color to use, and I think we're gonna go with the darkest color. So this is technically what the black roof looks like in the game. This very dark, but still light to be different, and still show detail in the tiling. Of course, gonna add some greenery around and a little bit of some moss going up some of the stone on the front. And then at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and kick it to real time me, and we'll go over everything so you guys kind of see at a ground level at a normal pace. Okay, everyone, so this is our wonderful little tavern here that is also, I guess you could say this is one of the main food courts of the theme park, and it turned out really well. I really love this new building, and especially the pieces that we used to make it up. This is definitely something that I don't think I could build without Alpha 3. Well, yeah, no, probably not as clean looking. I might be able to do it, but this looks spectacular. So let's go ahead and go over some of the cool features of it. Obviously, a really nice kind of front facade here. Now, normally the tavern name would probably be up on this wooden kind of adornment here, but I don't really have anything small enough to write the name of the tavern on there. I believe, tell you what, you guys can name this tavern. The motif on the top here is a little bit of a tree here. Maybe, what's the tree from Zelda? I forget. The Great Dooku tree? Yeah, sure. Name it after that. I don't know. But using roof elements to try and fill in the awkward gaps here, giving a pretty unique profile to these roof lines is pretty cool. And then also it creates a little bit of color just by bringing in some light orange elements. Same thing over here on the left and right side of the main roof. Obviously, chimney work, that looks pretty cool. I don't really want to add any VFX right now, as I'm really wanting to maintain that full FPS experience for you guys. But this tower turned out really well. I like the extra bit on top of the main here. I think that's a pretty cool feature to implement on a tower. We got some nice little cloth kind of overhangs over the main windows here, which look pretty cool, and also brings in just another bit of the orange color. This orange tower, I think, contrasts well with the black roof, but we have some light orange elements in the woodwork here to kind of tie it all together. It's all about bringing kind of large color bits and then highlighting it and contrasting it with some detailing on like the main structure. So that's why we have some orange bits here and there. This fireplace and side area turned out pretty nice with this little cart. Obviously, we're going to be slowly adding a whole bunch of trees kind of surrounding it. We have a carousel, obviously, that you guys can probably hear, just to try and attract more guests to the left side now. Just because we have a lot kind of focusing in this area. I really want to see some more kind of going to the left here. This is the back and side kind of eating area and seating arrangement that we have. I made some custom picnic tables, save them as a blueprint. They're really, I don't really want to upload this to the workshop because I feel like everyone kind of makes their own variant, and I kind of encourage everyone to make their own kind of picnic table. The best way to go about that is actually coming over, pausing the game, and get about waist height on your peeps. And about, this one's a fairly long table, so you could probably fit about 5, maybe 6 people comfortably on each bench. Now, obviously, people are going to be walking through these. They're not really interactable. I kind of wish I could put the normal park benches, kind of inlay them into these, but I can't do that just because they snap to the path. I kind of don't like that. I wish that was a toggleable feature. That'd be nice. Here's our 2 food and drink stalls, and then also our restroom kind of tucked into the side here. The front overhang looks really nice, especially with these kind of light elven-esque kind of decorating pieces, creating little arches in the stonework and things like that. And the overall woodwork, I think, was very successful in this build. So, yeah, learned a lot from doing this one. This one turned out really well. Over here, this is, of course, kind of a more woodland area. We are selling some swords and shields here. Now, normally this would be more, say, wooden, you know, kind of for play. Normally, they actually have like a proper blacksmith in these places, which we'll get to eventually. That'll have a lot more swords and shields. A little bit of a campsite in here, just to kind of keep some theming going, you know, some light archery targets, and even a kind of this wagon inside. I've never seen the interior in here. Okay, there's a stove. Yeah, they're living bare bones in the wilderness in the middle of the park. Some more stalls, you know, you can buy some flowers, some potted plants maybe to take home. You got some more swords and shields here. Made some custom little elements so the sword can actually properly be hung there. Here is another kind of miscellaneous stall. In this view right here, this is Renaissance Festival. I mean, you know, you have the buildings being contrasted by the small stalls here, and the woodland areas and tents, and everything's just kind of looking slowly but surely really nice. Obviously, had to throw in a tent here just for some more color, as we have some color elements kind of going straight across there. So, I think that's going to do us for this episode as evening falls onto our park. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have one quick announcement. We are going to be doing a live stream this weekend on Sunday, noon Eastern time. I'm also going to put a comment down below so you guys can, I'll put it in GMT as well, just so you can quickly transfer that into your own time zone. We hit 5,000 subscribers. If you didn't know, thank you guys who did subscribe and all the new people. So, keep on doing what you're doing. Come hang out with me. We're going to be playing some Planet Coaster live this Sunday. And until then, I'll see you guys in some more Planet Coaster.